We're so desensitized to the death of Africans in America that now we're treating it as if it's entertainment. Now we're treating it as entertainment, and it is so sick. It's so sick how things are turning out in this country. And it's like, the funny thing about it is that nobody's going to say anything. That's why I had to do this video, because nobody's going to say anything about the state in which this country is going. All right. Nobody's saying anything about the lack of respect that people have for the death of African people, for the lives of African people. This is just proof. This is more and more proof that African lives don't matter. Black lives don't matter in this country, in the world. Because if our lives mattered, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. It wouldn't have gotten to this point. First of all, when George Floyd passed away, it was almost as if people were faking their care. Because George Floyd passed away, it's like, okay, now that the people have been indicted or whatnot, we can sweep it under the rug and just go on with our lives as though we solved racism, as though we solved the Black Lives Matter problem. Now it's all done, right? But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all. It's like people was crying over that. People were crying tears of happiness as though we could finally put the racism talk to rest. When the man who killed George Floyd went to prison. But it's not over. And just because people are acting as though it's over doesn't mean that it's over. And it doesn't mean that we're finished with this conversation. It doesn't mean that we're finished with the fight. It doesn't mean that we're finished protesting. We still have to protest. We still have to fight. And we still need to feel the pain and trauma of Black death. We think we don't need to anymore. And the fact that this is becoming like entertainment it's just sick. It's sick. People are looking at this as a come up. People are looking at this as a way to boost their ratings, boost their views on YouTube. And this is something that has to be shamed, because if we don't shame it, then people will continue to do it shamelessly. People will continue to disrespect us shamelessly. We're disrespecting ourselves because we're the ones that are uploading these videos for views, for likes. I'm uploading this video because this needs to be checked. I'm uploading this video because nobody else is speaking on this. Nobody else is speaking on how this situation is being handled, how this situation is being treated by the media, by the society. And it's funny because why is it that only certain people who pass at the hands of police it's like the media chooses, they pick and choose who to focus on. All right. For example, George Floyd, for example, Tyre Nichol, for example, Trayvon Martin. Why is it certain people that they choose to focus on when there's other people who pass away at the hands of police brutality as well? Remember Senze Reed. Well, Senze Reed was a 14-year-old boy who died at the hands of a white supremacist, a random white supremacist. It wasn't the police, but split the difference, right? There was another person who passed away at the hands of the police, Jayland Walker. That was a big thing. I felt like I was the only one who was keeping Jayland Walker in my prayers. I felt like I was the only one who was following that whole thing. Jayland Walker's death should have been like, there should have been an insurrection over Jayland Walker. And it damn near was supposed to be that. But something happened to where that thing got deaded real quick. It was silenced. The protesters were silenced. The family was silenced. And I have a feeling that there was money involved. Somebody got paid off to keep it quiet or whatnot. And yeah, that was a thing. And it was crazy. I was fighting so hard in regards to that. And nobody was following that situation. And then there was Keenan Andrews, I believe. Was it Keenan Andrews or Keenan Anderson in Los Angeles, who got tased to death by the police. Now that's something that people aren't saying anything about. Nobody cares about black people. Nobody cares about our death. That man didn't do anything to die. That man didn't do anything to deserve them even tasering him. Not even once. That man was obviously dealing with something. The police knew that and decided to handle it in that fashion. Decided to handle it by murdering the guy. This is not going to stop. It's going to continue to go. Like, the way that these people treat us is going to continue to happen. I mean, and we shouldn't be surprised that it continues. And we shouldn't act as though it stopped because of the George Floyd incident. It's not going to stop. But yeah, I just feel like this video was necessary. And I just don't like I don't like Tyre Nichols being treated as some sort of piece of entertainment. Like, that man passed, that man died. And this man deserves support. But it's almost as if people know that justice is not going to be served. People know that there's no real use to fighting this through protesting, through peaceful means, right? Non-violent means, because nothing really happens at the end of the day. Nothing really happens. Even if a policeman gets indicted or whatever, it doesn't really, that's not a solution to the problem, right? And it's almost as if people know that, and they're like, they don't care that there's no justice. It's just like, we know it's not going to be no justice, but we might as well get some views off of it. We might as well use this for our ego or whatnot. And it's like, I'm black, I'm African, I got African family, and I know that this can happen to me, this can happen to anybody in my family, this can happen to my nephew, this can happen to any of the kids in our family, this can happen to my sister, this can happen to my brother, my mother, my father. And it's sad because in this system, we feel powerless. We are powerless. We're powerless because we have to live in this system. We have to make a living in this system. So it's like we cannot just jump out and jeopardize we can't just jeopardize our livelihood. right? That's the most painful part about it, is the powerlessness of it all. And that's how it's supposed to be in this system. Right? A lot of us cannot just afford to sacrifice our livelihood. We can't afford to sacrifice our businesses. We can't sacrifice our jobs and things like that. Because what if we go out, sacrifice, and nothing happens, right? The most that happens is we end up going to jail. It's like useless. Yeah, man, but still every day, my life, even though I'm not sacrificing my livelihood, my life is still dedicated to my people. My life is still dedicated to my people. And we as a people can still find ways to dedicate our lives to our community and really be involved in our community. All right. Even if we're not in our community, we can still, if we don't live in communities that's all us, we can still be involved with people in those communities. All right, I hope everybody's following me. So for example, if I live in a mixed neighborhood, there's still black people in the neighborhood. We can involve ourselves with the people in the neighborhood. We can involve ourselves with the kids. We can involve ourselves with our families, things like that. But we must do that at least to keep things in check, or at least try to put things in order, try to put things in balance. And it's going to be hard. Because there's been people that have tried to do that. Look at Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels was trying to do that, and it was so many people who were resistant to being in order as a community. That's all Kevin Samuels was trying to do. And the fact that people couldn't see that speaks volumes. People couldn't see that because African people in America today don't look at our situation as a group. We don't look at our situation as a community, whereas our people back in the day did, because it was necessary. But now we don't. We don't believe in structure. We don't believe in community now. We believe in individualism in general, especially our young people. Our young people don't see that. All our young people see is me. Me. So those young people are asking Kevin Samuels, well, why are you checking me? Why? You know? These people don't see the importance of it. These people don't see anything bigger than them. They don't see anything they don't see the bigger picture. They don't see anything beyond themselves and paying their own bills. But until we start seeing each other as a community, until we start seeing each other as brothers and sisters and cousins, even if it's not biological in the blood, then we're always going to be targeted. We're never going to have the self-respect. Self-respect is when we have self-respect, when we have pride of who we are, then we'll be able to defend ourselves a lot better. We won't just allow these type of things to happen to us and not say anything about it or not do anything about it. You know, do something serious, right? Because these people are coming against us and trying to destroy us. They're coming against us aggressively. So what are we doing? Nothing. But everybody, this video was just to check everybody that is treating Tyre Nichols and Black life in a trivial manner, in a way that's just totally out of pocket, disrespectful. That man can't rest like that.